Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Imagine Nation online experience. My name is Aga, and I'm so happy that you're joining me on this course about art history for everyone. It's incredible because today is our last lesson from this course, and I'm so proud of you that you achieved so much, learning about 11 different artists, learning about art throughout the ages, and also gaining so many new skills in your art making. Well done, everybody! I will discuss a Scottish artist today. His name is Charles Rennie Mackintosh. Have you ever been to Scotland? It's a wonderful part of the country with unique culture, beautiful countryside, and it's definitely worth visiting. If you go there, you need to visit Glasgow. This is the city where Charles Rennie Mackintosh was born in 1868. He had a very big family. He had 10 siblings. After finishing school, Charles started an apprentice at the local architecture practice. It wasn't long after his natural talent for architecture was spotted, and he decided to start evening classes at famous Glasgow School of Arts. He went there with one of his friends who also worked at the architectural practice, and his name was James McNair. So both Charles and James started learning at Glasgow School of Arts, and this is where they met the Macdonald sisters. Margaret Macdonald and Frances Macdonald. All four of them became really good friends, and they become inseparable, making art together, inspiring each other, and talking about art endlessly. Soon, love blossomed, and James and Frances got married in 1899, and 1 year later, in 1900, Charles Rennie Mackintosh got married to Margaret Macdonald. Charles and Margaret became a duet in art making. Charles Mackintosh was quite successful at that time, and his career was blooming. They worked together designing many buildings. One of them was the famous Willow Tombs, which you can still visit when you go to Glasgow, and you can have a cup of tea in especially designed cups, sit down on a specially designed chair, and even eat your cake with a special fork. This is because the Mackintosh couple, they would design everything starting from the building, the furniture, lamps, cups, cutlery, fireplaces, textiles, and paintings that would be on the walls. It was quite amazing to sit in a room designed by Charles Rennie Mackintosh and Margaret Macdonald Mackintosh. So they designed also a project, a house called the Hill House. Oh, the Hill House is one of the most famous works by the couple. All the details have been designed by them. Let's have a quick look inside. The interesting thing is that Mackintosh's designs used a lot of contrasts. One room could be really bright, filled with white walls, white furniture, very sunny, while the other place, like the hallway in the Hill House or the library in another famous building, the Glasgow School of Arts, would be dark, made of stained wood, covering the walls from the floor to the ceiling. In 1901, Mackintosh entered an art competition designing a house for an art lover. This is his design. Unfortunately, he was disqualified because he hadn't submitted enough drawings. Funny thing that the house for the art lover was built many years after he designed it. Between 1989 and 1996, the house was built according to Mackintosh's drawings. Incredible. The Mackintoshes, after they got married in 1900, they were invited to take part in a very special exhibition in Vienna, the capital of Austria. Mackintosh was very famous abroad and his work was celebrated there. The Secession exhibition in Vienna was a great success. They received a whole room which was filled with their projects. The couple was greeted in Vienna like the biggest celebrities. They were taken around the capital in a cart decorated with flowers. And they stayed in Vienna for 6 weeks. They loved it there. It was probably the peak of Mackintosh's career. The exhibition was a great success. Within 6 weeks, 24,000 visitors came to see it, and he sold many works. The Glasgow style was blooming with his famous rose, Glasgow rose design. Today you are going to try. How does it feel to be a designer? An interior designer. And you're going to design your own chair. I will show you some examples of some famous Mackintosh chairs. I hope this will inspire you to look at your surroundings and maybe notice how different chairs look like and how it influences if they are ergonomic. Ergonomic means if they are comfortable to sit in and if they are functional. This is something that a furniture designer needs to think about too. Not just the aesthetics, the beauty of a chair, bed, or the whole room. The designer needs to think if the chair will be good to use. Hello designers! Are you ready to design your own chair? Wonderful! Before we do that, let's have a look at some examples of chairs designed by Rennie Mackintosh. This is a settee with a very rare checked back, designed especially for the willow tea rooms. Here is another interesting example of an armchair designed for the billiard and smoking rooms at Miss Cranson's tea rooms. Here there's another example of Mackintosh chair with some lovely details of purple glass. Look at the base, it's really interesting with the lines going on the floor. This is the high back chair called the Argyle Chair for the Argyle Street tea rooms. This is probably the most famous Hill House chair. And a comparison of all types of chairs designed by Mackintosh. Right, so when you design your own chair, you need to think about few things. Oh, there's one more. This is wonderful. Soft chair with a checked back. Very unique and very characteristic. So we will think about form of our chair and also functionality. So every designer needs to think about it. How my chair is going to be used. Is it a chair for a dining room? Is it a soft chair for a cafe? Or maybe it's a chair that will be used on an airplane. The second thing is What is the chair going to be made of? Mackintosh most often used wood, but other designers used all types of materials, so you are free to think about other materials like plastic, maybe other organic forms, even paper. Think about the seat. How is the seat gonna look like? And the relation to the legs. How about the back? Is it gonna be higher or lower? Like in this chair. Finally, think about the details and the decoration. So I decided to design a chair that will be really, really comfortable. So this is the seat of my chair. I'm gonna sketch it very gently. And these will be the legs. I will keep my chair in the style of Rennie Mackintosh. I really like the arch used here. Most of his designs. Now I think about the back. I would like the back to be very tall and narrow. And maybe the top of my chair will have an arch too, to make it look a bit softer. So in the space where we put our head, I would like a soft cushion to rest the head. And there will be a detail of the rose on the soft cushion. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna use some watercolor pens or markers to color in my design. I would like the chair to be made of brown wood, so I will use a brown marker to color in the wood parts. The seat and the details will be in emerald green. Perfect. So here it is, a Mackintosh inspired dining room chair for emerald room. Well done, everyone. I hope you enjoyed designing your own furniture. Today we will focus on this wonderful design by Charles Rennie Mackintosh, which includes the famous Glasgow rose. Look at this wonderful panel. This design was made in 1902 and it was meant to become a stained glass window. Do you know what's a stained glass window? Well, so stained glass windows were works of art made of pieces of glass connected by lead, so a type of metal, and then put into the window, so when the sun goes through the window inside the room, you would see wonderful colors. This is his most famous Glasgow rose. I would like to show you some other designs too. The lovely blue and purple. And another glass panel here. This one was made for the Hill House, and it includes some wonderful lines. So we are going to use some of these ideas in our project. Okay. Here are some works I did earlier on, inspired by Mackintosh and his famous Glasgow rose. You can work on a round shape or elongated shape or square maybe. And you can see that there are elements of flowers and lines. Okay, let's start. So you will need a long piece of paper. We can actually design a card. So you can fold your piece of paper along the long edge, and this will make a lovely space for a card like that. If you're working in your sketchbook, you can just fold one page in, turn it around, or even work like this. Okay, so what you need now is a pencil. Black Sharpie is great for outlines, and then eventually we will finish off with some watercolors. Let's start with a little practice of how to draw the rose. You will need a round shape, which in my case is a lid, and this will help you to get the round shape exactly right. You can use a compass if you have one. So this is the round shape for the rose, and now I'm going to show you how to draw the rose. So you need to start with a shape a little bit like a rainbow, going inside the circle. Then, roughly from halfway through, you're going to draw another rainbow shape. And you will keep doing this until you get into the center. So somewhere from the center, you do the rainbow until you get into another line. And then halfway through, the rainbow again. And look at this wonderful rose shape that's been created. Great! Let's do that again. So you can practice on your separate piece of paper, or you can even make it into 3 roses. So we going with the rainbow shape, and then halfway through we start another rainbow. Every rose will be different. Just like in nature, every flower is different. And the third one. I'm gonna start here rather than, so it will make it slightly different. If you wish, you can turn your practice sheet into a lovely card by adding some lines. Why don't you use a ruler to make the lines nice and straight? First of all, I really like adding a frame. Great! I can keep this design like this for now, and now we can do the real thing. So our card, special card. If there's someone in your life who's maybe celebrating birthday, anniversary, or maybe they're not feeling great, why don't you make a card for them to cheer them up? I'm gonna place my rose at the top of the design. Like so. And now you know what to do. We are going to do the rainbow shape. From the middle of your previous rainbow, you do another one. Another one. And another one. And I'm perfectly happy with how it looks. I'm gonna do the frame as well. So with a little help of a ruler, you can also do that freehand. So the frame about 1 centimeter away from the edge of my paper. Like so. And now I can decide with what kind of lines I'll do in my design. Do you like the straight lines? Or do you like the curvy lines? Oh, we can do both. So I'll start with a line going centrally. Underneath the rose. I think my design is ready, so I can go into Sharpie. So let's go over all your lines with a black Sharpie. Don't need to use a ruler now. I always find it easier to draw from top to bottom and top to bottom. That's why I turned my card to do these horizontal lines this way. And the frame. Great! Look at this design. Looks wonderful. Just right. Rennie Mackintosh, Glasgow style. There's a bit of pencil, you see. You can just rub it off. Now my card is ready to paint. I did open it because I really love that purple around here. So I'll do purple around my design and as well at the back. I did draw a little symbol in the middle so it looks more like a real card. So now you need to decide about colors you will need. I'll definitely go for purple, green, and maybe a bit of blue. I'll start with the rose. You can use different shades. We'll start with the darkest pink. Make sure you use the tip of your paintbrush so you won't go behind the black lines. Okay. And also the top here. I'll use a different shade of green now, a bit lighter one. I will use the pink for the rose, the back of the card. And the last color I will use just a little bit is the blue. Great. It's time to paint the back and the frame purple. And now my card is finished. All I need to do is write some wishes inside. Of course, first we need to wait for this to dry. How did you do? I hope you enjoyed those 2 activities and that you will keep thinking about designing houses, furniture, rooms, lamps, and other things. Maybe you would like to start a big project where you can design your own dream house. Wow, that would be amazing if you can share that with me. Charles Rennie Mackintosh's and Margaret Macdonald Mackintosh life wasn't all rosy. By 1923, his style went out of fashion. People thought it's not so exciting anymore, and he struggled to find commissions. He was quite frustrated and decided to stop his architectural practice. Together with Margaret, they moved to south of France, and they focused on painting. Rennie Mackintosh was very happy to go back to something that he stopped many years ago, watercolor painting. And he created a number of beautiful, gentle and delicate pictures of flowers, where you can clearly see the inspiration of the Japanese art. Just like in Hokusai's woodblock prints. He also did many landscapes of the local area. In France, the couple lived a very simple and quiet life. But this time was really happy for them. Short after they moved back to London, Charles Rennie Mackintosh was diagnosed with cancer and died in 1928 at the age of 60. His art became really popular again after his death, and now you can see the Glasgow rose printed on everything: cups, tea towels, t-shirts, umbrellas, anything you can imagine. When one of his famous tea rooms he designed was demolished, students of Glasgow School of Arts decided to keep all the elements of the interior design, including panels from the walls, all pieces of wood. Everything was carefully removed and kept. When the Victoria and Albert Museum in Dundee was opened last year, they decided to create a whole room dedicated to Charles Rennie Mackintosh. And they reconstructed the tea room from these elements that were saved years ago. So now if you go to Dundee's Victoria and Albert Museum, you can go to a room which looks exactly like his tea rooms, demolished many years ago. It's really sad for me to say goodbye, because this is our last lesson from the course Art History for Everyone. But in September we are going to start part 2 of this course and discuss 10 new artists. I'm very excited and I would love you to join me on my new course starting in September. If you would like to join me for my other courses, that would be great. I decided to create 2 special courses which are dedicated to my 2 favorite artists, Pablo Picasso and Vincent van Gogh. So make sure that you have a look below this video, click on the link, and this is the best way to access these lessons. So have a wonderful summer, and I hope to see you soon during another lesson about a different artist. Thank you so much for your participation, and big well done to you for being such a wonderful student.